Hey yo, it's Guido. On this episode, we have a last chance review, mini review on the BTSV, kind of a mini tank itself, a Tier 3 Russian light tank. Tier 3 tank, and it actually has a pretty good deal. So let's cover that first. We're going to talk about the deal that you can get on this thing. Right here in the store, click on that, and you are getting 30 days of premium and a BTSV, which is $12.59. You can see I can add a coupon onto mine. If you have a coupon, you'll be able to use it as well, depending on the kind of coupon. And that's a pretty good deal because that's the price of 30 days of premium. Plus, they're throwing in the tank on top. So that's my hard sell right there. All right, that's how you can get that. This is a collector's tank. It's been around for a long time. Used to be pretty difficult to get and find. It has been on sale recently. Obviously right now it's still on sale. What's great about this tank is a couple things. Let's take a look really quickly at the comparison. You can see it right there in my garage. Really interesting looking tank. The history on that thing was developed in the 30s, and here's a little tidbit. The guy that was developing it, it actually was stopped being developed because he got arrested, which is something that happened in that time frame in that country. A very interesting little tidbit right there. So here we have some of the other Tier 3 premium. So this is a premium tank. It's at Tier 3. Tier 3 is a great place to learn mechanics, and this is a pretty good tank to do it because it's got mobility, which is really, really nice. You're not going to learn a lot about the meta at Tier 3, but if you're a new to intermediate player, I used to like to go down to Tier 3 in my T127. This was years and years ago when I was just learning the game, just to kind of relax and enjoy the game and have some fun raging around at Tier 3. So don't expect to learn the Tier 10 meta at Tier 3. However, it's a great tank to learn the mechanics of the game. And because it's fast, that helps you get around maps and learn maps as well. So there are two things I really like about the BTSV. You can see it only does 44 damage. Interesting thing, or it's 47 damage. It has the same gun as all of these 4 premium Russian Tier 3 tanks have the exact same gun. 51 pen, 47 damage. So this is the epitome of the pew-pew. It takes a while to chew through tanks. Now that we have the HP buff, definitely takes a while. So we scroll down here. One of the negatives of this tank is a really bad gun depression. That can be difficult to use. I will consider that a slight advantage for you who are trying to learn the game because it forces you to pay attention to the terrain. All right. I know that's a little bit of a backhanded compliment, and obviously you'd rather have good depression like the LTP at -8 or the T127 as a general rule, but the -4 will make you think about your positioning on certain local areas of a map to make sure that you can get your gun on them. It will be a bit painful. The aiming time is faster than the rest, so while it's the same gun, the carriage that it's on, or the platform, is a little bit different on each tank. So this one actually has the best aiming time and a decent dispersion at 0.39. Most guns down at low tiers are bad. Look at the armor. I was comparing it primarily to the T127. Obviously it has less, but it's very angled armor, so you will get some bounces, but don't count on it. Turret armor is not nearly as good as the T127 right there. It is fast, 62 kilometers an hour. That's what I love about it. I'm going to show you a replay with how fast this thing is, how it can get around the maps. I think that's one of its biggest benefits. Here's another negative, so gun depression and terrible view range. Nearly everything at low tiers, minus a few special vehicles, have bad view range, but this one is particularly bad at 280. That's 40 less than a T127. You're going to rely a little bit more on your speed to get spotting and find guys, vice your spotting distance. Like I said, the T127 at 320. The camo is decent, not amazing in there. So there's a quick comparison. The way I set mine up before we get to the game itself, I've got vents, I have a gun laying drive, and I have optics. That's a pretty expensive loadout for a Tier 3. So you may want to just run a camo net and binocs and something else as you're just starting out the game. I do have 30 gold, and I did run an okay crew. They do have 6 cents, and they're working on their first skill. But like I said, I ran a lot of gold. The gold pen on this thing is going to be 84, which is pretty much enough to deal with the Tier 3s and 4s. I have large kits and a large fire extinguisher. Very easy to get by with the manual stuff on those, or the small kits. No worries there. So let's take a quick look at a replay and look at the speed of this thing. So for around 12 bucks, you're getting 30 days of premium. Let me just throw one thing out there on the hard sell about that. If you're looking at this game and you're thinking, I think I'm interested in World of Tanks, my recommendation is drop 12 bucks. Get something like this in 30 days of premium. That lets you spread the gameplay out over 30 days. And after 30 days, you should have a really good idea of whether you like the game or not. If you buy 3 days and do a weekend, or you buy 7 days, I don't think that's enough to really get an idea of what the grind means in this game. After 30 days, for 12 bucks, you get this tank, you get 30 days. I think in 30 days you have a really great idea on whether you like this game or not. Right? All right, so let's look at the replay. All right, here we are in the replay, and I'm starting it right here. You can see guys are already starting to move around. Usually I'm pretty fast out the gate, and I'm headed to the point I want to get to. We are here on Abbey. However, somebody asked me a question about the tank, and I said, no, I'm reviewing the tank. He said, what are you doing? Are you doing the Saturday Showdown? And I said, no, I'm reviewing this tank. It took me a while. I was fumbling with my fingers, and I like this because it shows you where everybody is, how far ahead of me they are. So watch the speed on this thing. Remember, I told you it was 62 kilometers. And a lot of tanks down here are pretty fast, but this is one of the fastest at Tier 3. My warning to new players and intermediate players who are going to pick this tank up with the speed. Speed is beautiful. It's great for flexing, as I call it, the meta flex. It's great for getting around the map, for reacting to what's going on, to learning that part of the mechanics of the gameplay. But it can also get you in big trouble because you're going to rage out and get isolated, because a lot of times as we're new, we forget to look down and right at the map. So we get spotted, come around. I have dabbed 2, so clearly I am spamming the APCR. I try not to spend a lot of time down here. There's the angle helped out, maybe the track. I try not to spend a lot of time down here seal clubbing, right? I like Tier 3. I like all the tiers of World of Tanks, but I do understand that there are new players down here, and me hanging out down at Tier 3 and pummeling people constantly is probably not great overall for the game. So we'll go ahead and push in on this 40 TP, getting a few bounces off it, which is nice. That angled armor can definitely be an asset. If people aren't careful, they're going to end up bouncing. Now I want you to watch the speed here on this. The passing move to flank guys locally like this, to get around behind them, tank just really makes it easy with the speed. So we go ahead and take that guy down. We're going to come around here. We find this Stewart is hanging out. We'll shoot him. He gets dead. And now I'm looking at the train that's over on the other side of the map, and they're kind of headed towards our cap. So those guys all head to their cap, and I go, well, I have to go back, because if they keep pushing down on the east side of the map and come over on the 8 line or so, we could have a fast cap situation. And I think, again, this is great to illustrate the speed. Look at this thing. We're cooking along. There it is, 62. So it will, in fact, do 62 on flat ground, no problem, moving right along. Very fast tanks. Will come all the way around behind here to the cap. But it looks like my team's doing a pretty good job, because we got a couple PZ2Js that are platooned who are really locking them down. These are the little, they're also very sought after premium tanks. In fact, very sought after. People have paid a lot of money for those little things. The Mini Mouse is what they're called. So we have a little platoon down there taking on the whole team basically together. So that allows our team time to go after their cap. Like I said, this is not really a fantastic tier for meta gameplay. That big push in the northwest is a really bad idea when they're threatening your cap. As of right now, it looks like we've got it under control. So I figure I don't have to go down the 8-9 line. That's all good. Let's go ahead and get a little bit closer to our own guns. I'm going to head to the middle, almost tip the thing over. That's something you need to watch out for when you have a very fast tank. It is easy to hit one of those little rocks or undulations in the terrain and tip yourself over. But the way this thing's shaped, I think it's going to come back to its feet pretty easily. And even if it goes over top, it should roll back over. Now I want you to check out the speed with which this thing can fire. We're going to have our APCR the back of a Valentine, a little too high. So boom, boom, boom. Interesting thing to note, and it just went away, but the little orange or yellow numbers that show the damage, it shoots so fast, it's actually tallying each one of your shots as you go, and it will add to them. So it's a 40 or so alpha gun on this thing. It does take a while to chew through people. 47 damage alpha. We got 2 enemies. We'll come around here. We'll go after the Valentine in his side armor. We have hit points to give, so we'll go after him here. We'll just try to take him down. We hit him again, and we'll see if we can get rid of him. And there we go. The Locust is the last guy alive, and he will die here momentarily. There he goes. So we have 1 kill, 705 damage, 48 assists, and we actually bounce 225 hit points, which is pretty good. About half of our hit points. We have about another half a tank that we were carrying along with us in hit points based on the bounces early on, especially with the 40T right there. But I like to show this one because all the speed come all the way over to here. We're able to flex to try to protect the cap. Once the cap was not in danger, came all the way back around and up into the Abbey and helped finish these guys off. fast firing gun, terrible depression, very fast, decent armor, bad view range. But let me tell you, add that to the fact that you're getting 30 days of premium and this little tank to play around with, and I think after 30 days you'll have a really good idea of whether you like World of Tanks or not. Thanks for checking out my quick review of the BTSV. I'm going to call it the semi-collector's tank at this point. It used to be very rare, now it's semi-rare, perhaps. That is all I've got. Thanks for tuning in. We will see ya.